Hey guys! In this first lesson, I'm going to show you how we can mix characteristic features of animals to quickly create new creatures and species. We'll make quick and simple sketches so you can see the process. We'll take a look at mammals, birds and fishes, and finally I'll show you some creatures I designed and the animal features that make them up. So if you're ready, we can begin. So first of all, here we have the mammals. I've chosen an elephant, a squirrel and a lion, as they don't look alike and the three have very distinguishing features. So you can follow along. I'll highlight in red the areas I think are most characteristic or interesting of each one of the animals that we'll later use to mix into our new animal. On the elephant, I've highlighted the tusks, the trunk, the ears, the legs. The head will be useful later to join the different animal parts. On the squirrel, I like the shape of the head, the tail, and the structure of the body. And finally, on the lion, I'll highlight the mane, the shape of the head, and the legs and paws. The body might be also useful for when we're mixing. Now I'm going to start combining the features to quickly create new creatures. With mammals, we can obtain some very strange looking animals, as there's lots of variety in this group. So I'll start by drawing a trunk like an elephant. I'll then add a squirrel's head and its big eyes. Finally, I'll give it a lion's mane and ears, and we end up with a very weird creature. The next animal will have a squirrel's body. The tail will be as long as a lion's. And I'll give the head tusks like an elephant. I'll also add ears as big as an elephant, so it's even weirder. The last mammal I'll make will have the end of the body like a lion. I'll add a bushy squirrel's tail. I'll give it a squirrel's head and legs too. Finally, I'll add a trunk. So as you can see, you can create really strange creatures by quickly mixing distinguishing elements of different animals. Let's take a look at the birds. Birds are more similar to one another, so mixing them doesn't produce strange-looking animals. However, let's give it a go with this flamingo, kingfisher, and eagle. Again, I'll highlight the areas I think are characteristic of each bird. So the flamingo has the long neck and also the feathers on the wings. The kingfisher, second one, we could highlight the beak and the shape of the body, and the eagle has the beak, the wings, claws, and tail. Now we have all the distinguishing features, we can mix them to create new types of birds. With the long flamingo neck, we could include a beak that's similar to the kingfisher, and then it would look a bit like a heron. For the next bird, we'll mix the body of the kingfisher with the eagle's wings and head and the flamingo's legs. And for the last bird, we'll use the body of the kingfisher. I'll add the eagle's tail and the big claws. Then I'll also add the long neck and head of the flamingo. And our bird mixes are done. So let's move on to the fishes. I have 3 marine animals here. So we have a dolphin, which I'll include even though it is a mammal, but it has an interesting shape. We also have the shark and a fish with a very big tail. Again, I'll use red to highlight the most interesting elements of each animal. So on the dolphin, I like the shape of the head and the body. The head of the shark is interesting, as well as the fins. And I like the tail of the last fish. Now, let's mix up the aquatic animals. For the first one, I'll make a strange head by mixing the shark and the dolphin, and I'll also add the fish's big tail. I'll give it the shark's fins. The second one will have the dolphin's head and the big tail and fins like the fish, almost like feathers. And for the last one, I'll add the shark's head and a small but kind of bushy tail. So, you now know how to mix different animals. I'll show you the creatures that I created. So here we have 3 fantastical beasts I drew mixing elements from various groups of animals. I'll show you what elements each of them have. The first one is the mix of a monkey with a reptile, although I've added some elements of my own. From the monkey, I've used the shape of the body, and from the reptile, the face, the tail, and the spikes. For the second creature, I've selected mainly a heron and a kangaroo. From the heron, I have the beak, the long neck, and the wings. And from the kangaroo, I've got the big legs and the body. The last is a mix between the jaws of a wild boar and the body of a fish. This fish could be one of those deep sea fishes. Okay, so now you can mix different animals together to create strange and fantastical creatures. With what you've learned, you're going to develop a creature of your own. I'll choose, of the last 3 animals, the fish with the jaws. I hope you're enjoying the course so far, and I'll see you in the next lesson.